The etiology of PTSD follows a traumatic stressor which causes intense fear and/or helplessness. The symptoms usually appear shortly after the event but may take years. The direct traumatic exposure means that a child has experienced that trauma firsthand. Some examples are being in an automobile accident, being diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, a sexually traumatic event, a natural disaster, neglect, physical abuse, or mental abuse. An indirect traumatic exposure means that the child did not experience that trauma, but that a loved one or close person to them did. Some examples are a violent personal assault on a loved one, a serious accident, or an unexpected death of a family member or friend. Some symptoms are generally nightmares, obsessive thoughts, flashbacks, avoidance of situations, people, and/or objects, increased anxiety, specifically in school, possible heightened startle response, impulsive, aggressive behaviors, repeating behavior of the trauma, numbness and shutdown or they freeze, and a dissociation. In the classroom, there is poor posture, fidgeting, compulsive talking, could appear as symptoms of autism, ADHD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. They could possibly have restless leg, out of the seat behavior, looking for a fight, failure to complete work, lack of motivation, depression, difficulty transitioning to new tasks, flat affect, a sense of lifelessness, stomach aches, headaches, having problems concentrating. These are just a few of the symptoms. In the classroom, there will be students' responses and teachers' responses and strategies to help teachers help the student. There are three specific areas: creating a safe classroom, a sense of belonging, and competence. With creating a safe classroom, the student may exhibit anxiety fueled with defense. What this looks like are acts of defiance against the teacher, and there's also a lower threshold for stress. The teacher, in response to this, could help students resolve internal conflicts with peers. They could also not react with punishment, threats, humiliation, or gestures of intimidation. With a sense of belonging, the students are at a higher risk of gang activity because they want to belong. There is also a lack of control, which means increased behavioral difficulties. And this means that usually they're taken out of group activities because of their behavior. What the teacher could go ahead and do is to include guided practice activities by using aides, school counselors, etc., to complete the activity and give the students time to complete the task. With competence, the students normally are academically challenged. They have feelings of not being good at anything. What the teacher can go ahead and do is to tailor academic activities to the window of tolerance to the child, and also increase sensory experiences such as art, music, movement, interactive play, etc. Some interesting facts are that PTSD is part of the anxiety disorders and is associated with increased rates of major depressive disorder, substance-related disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, obsessive compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, social phobia, specific phobia, and bipolar disorder. The treatments currently given to the students are trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral intervention for trauma in schools, and sometimes anti-anxiety medications. A statistic is that studies show that about 15 to 43% of girls and 14 to 43% of boys go through at least one trauma. Of these, children and teens who have had a trauma, 3 to 15% of girls and 1 to 6% of boys develop PTSD. Some resources here are for school staff. There is a book, a helpful school toolkit for teachers, and websites to understand the therapy modalities. And here we have the references.